flip through of my April 2021 journal. What to say? It didn't last long. I thought I'd go through, I don't know what worked, what didn't work. I really liked this. I've been enjoying looking at it the whole month. The booklet, the only booklet, I mean, I did prepare booklets for other months, obviously, but this one worked pretty well, even though the double Dutch doors I wasn't crazy about. I was going to use these as project spreads for the month, but it's just, I don't know, it's too much. When I don't want to write my projects for the month. So I tracked my knee instead. My knee rehabilitation. I generally like to paint over the week when it's done. So that's why I've painted the boxes and the calendar. Didn't do it for the final week. I started doing it for the weeklies as well, but I thought, you know, it's too much work. I don't feel like it. So it's just a messy planner. And that's fine. My last journal planner was really, I covered everything in art, but this time I didn't have the energy to do that. May booklet that I never used, I was going to have cut out tabs like this instead of this kind of tab, but when I saw it I didn't really like it, so it ended up not using that idea in the new book. Tracker that I've transferred to the new one, or calendar and unused weeklies. Another calendar that is totally unused, and I've used the pages after this to just draw, journal, brainstorm, world building ideas. That's what this is. And this. And August journal. I really, August calendar, sorry. I really did think this book was going to last me for a long time. It didn't. More world building that I'll have to transfer into my computer. My series Bible, all the ideas for my fantasy world. Names. Oh, it's a candy wrapper. 100 things that are good about my body, because I was fed up with my knee and hip, so I tried to focus on something a bit more positive, like you're supposed to. I started painting over, these are next action spreads, and I started painting over them because I thought I would make art, and then I didn't, so, well, on some of them I did, but they're just backgrounds at the moment, with a figure here and there, a cute little demon. I do like some of these backgrounds, so, you know, I might use it in the future. What if I'm in a place where I don't have paper to paint? I don't know, if the world crumbles or I don't have the money or something, then I have a lot of paper left in these old planners to use up. Pre-drawn next action pages that I never used because I didn't want to, well, I don't like that when it's, I mean, I do like having the different contexts on different spreads, but when I used, you know, this is used up, this is used up, this is used up, and in between there are unused pages, I just don't like when it's mixed like that. I want the art pages, the, you know, when I've painted over something, I want that to be collected, a specific section. It just, for some reason, it stresses me out when my blank, pristine pages are in between these. So, I don't know, it didn't work. So I wasted a lot of paper on that. And of course I could have used this for journaling in May now instead of switching books. But, you know, when you feel like you're done with a thing, it's really hard to go back on that. So I'll keep this as a memento of what not to do. Old project section, planner plans, and plans for this kind of video. Lots of white space. Shopping list. I mean, as you can see, it doesn't look very nice. It's but you know, after 10 years, when you look through an old planner like this, it can still be interesting, even though it's ugly to you now. I had a list of music to listen to, so I can go back to that and see what I was into at the time. So, you know, it's a good thing. Plans for reorganizing the kitchen, which we never did because neither of us has any energy. A lot of questions and worries about my knee and hip that I plan to take to my physiotherapist or maybe even a doctor. A whole signature that I never used. So I might take it out and use it for something. Maybe an insert in a traveler's notebook or something. This is a song that I'm going to sing for a friend when it's her birthday. Plans for a family get-together that I'm hoping will be, you know, that it will be allowed to do when it's time. Plans for cleaning that I never used. A lot of this I never used because April just, we're not friends, me and April. Work projects, I've ripped some pages out and put in my Someday Maybe binder because there were a lot of Someday Maybe stuff on there, so I wanted to keep it. Yeah, so a lot of this is just nothing to look at. But this is pretty. And this, we're coming to the added sections, the additional notebooks. Oh, we're not at the pretty part yet, but I sort of started here to try to spice it up. This was really, it ripped and I think I glued it on wrong, so this just looks awful. But this is a fun list of quotes that me and my husband use all the time, and it's sort of fun to look back at impact in the future, I think, when perhaps we change what we, the sayings we use. So it can be fun to look back at all the things we used to say. And it really, I started this page because I thought I would only need one page, so the heading is here. And then I continued here and then here, because we do quote a lot of things. Mainly Dylan Moran, members of Rush, and what else? Lord of the Rings, I think. Yeah. More planner plans. I was going to make a big planner out of, like a traveler's notebook, and I had lots of ideas that I never. Well, I did a mock-up, but I don't know. I wrote all these pages with plans for how to do this, and it was going to be perfect, And then here I realized this won't ever work. So Occam's razor, glue 3 leuchtturms together, and then I did. So these are my plans for that instead. And these plans I actually used. And some scattered ideas about planner setups. More planner plans. And some work-related stuff. Just brainstorming about different projects and ideas for a logo. The meeting agendas. More planner plans. As soon as it's this light blue color, you can, and this tab, it's planner plans. World building ideas. And more meeting notes. Just throwaway stuff, really. But I'm going to keep it this time because this book is really beat up, and I think it sort of fits that aesthetic, if you can call it that, to keep all those messy notes. And I did a mock-up of my May booklet, and I used the second one in my new book. Yes, and that's it for that section. And then the random journaling section at the very back, where I put some art. Beach of Bones is a place in my fantasy world, and her name is Johessa Daflin. Some brainstorming about which order the books should come in the series. That I wrote this in the bath, so this is I ripped this out from another book and glued it in here. So it's really ugly, messy handwriting and just jotting down ideas. But that's how I write. I'm thinking many of us in the planner journal community are so afraid to put pen to paper because we think we ruin the books. We love the books and we don't want to ruin them. But that's kind of bad thinking, because you feel like you ruin something because you put yourself in it, and you're not perfect. You don't fill in your tracker every day. You don't do it. So, you sort of see in your mind's eye how this will all be filled out. I will have done all my habits every day, and I will have written it beautifully, and I won't have coloured outside the lines or anything. But, what's the point of that? I mean, if you want something perfect, why not buy something that was made in a factory? You know, pre-filled in with everything. I think the best way to use a planner journal, besides planning in it, is to use it as data on yourself. Because a tracker like this, where you've skipped a lot of habits and days, can tell you so much. Maybe in May, for example, I do more habits, like I'm 100% better. Well, that can tell me something about myself, about April and May and different days of, parts of the year. The day colors that I use can tell me something about, I mostly do my habits on Wednesdays, seems to be a good day. It seems that I do the dishes fairly consistently, but hoovering is really a problem. Well, what's the problem then? And I can think about, why do I hoover so inconsistently? And it's because, well, for one, I don't really see that it's needed because I'm a slob, and and another reason is that it's what's it called? The machine is tucked away in a cupboard, and it's really a hassle to bring it out, and I don't like the physical act of hoovering. And how, when I think about that problem, then I can also think about a solution. So the imperfections of a planner or / journal can help you with so much, understanding what's going on in your life. Abandoned ideas. Why didn't I do this? Well, maybe you can sort of analyze it afterwards and see, I don't know, stuff. So, and like this page, I never finished it. I started painting this, beautiful fantasy scene. But, this information is all I need. I had this idea about books that sort of came to life. Well, this sketch tells me everything I need to know about that, to remember how to write it in my book or my series Bible, at least. So I don't need to finish it. It would have been beautiful, hopefully, or it would have been maybe fun or whatever to finish it and to sort of have each spread be a perfect, finished, polished product. But, I don't want my journal to be a chore. So if I want to abandon a spread, why not abandon it? So and I mean, if you hate your handwriting, that's like you're hating yourself. This is who I am. I write like this. So, deal with it. Deal with yourself. And sometimes, you make these beautiful pages, or at least I like this page. And then, you can see that sometimes I'm a messy slob and sometimes I do beautiful things, and that's okay. Maybe you can even see sort of trends, like periods, like, for me, my last journal that I had between January and March this year, I covered everything in art. Well, maybe I was in a phase where I wanted to do that, and maybe that's something I can analyze or understand about myself, that once I came to April, all of those things just crumbled. I know I keep bashing on April, but it really, this year I've really understood that it's not my month. So I think this planner in all its messy, ugly glory helped me understand that. So in that way, it's been really helpful, and I like it because it's my therapist and companion and sounding board. More world building. And just, you know, I suddenly, well, we listened to Kaiser Chiefs and I just felt like, oh, I love this music so much and I wanted to write the name. So I did. And then I drew a face because why not? Or, and I also wrote a fake Rammstein quote that was sort of a, well, it was a joke between me and my husband. Never mind. More world building. This is where I started making the backgrounds beforehand, so that I didn't write on white pages. And look, here's another of those beautiful pages ish. You know, it's not, for me to like it, I would have had to, well, it would have had to have a better background, or a background full stop, and perhaps in, you know, details in acrylics and so on. But, you know, I still like it. And it tells me something about the ideas I've written about here. The angel snake that this guy, Sinden Jark, is on the lookout for because he wants to commit suicide. And it's a really pleasant way to go, to let one of those snakes bite you. But things don't really go according to his plan. And this could be the cover of that book. More world building, lots of world building. So even though April was not very productive when it came to habits and cleaning and all those things, it was really productive when it came to brainstorming about my books. And maybe there's a lesson to be learned there, that those things don't really coexist, that you have your creative phases and then you have your sort of productive structured phases, you know, when you do the things you're supposed to do when you're a good girl or whatever. And maybe you can start seeing after a while that, oh, these periods seem to co-vary with other things like the weather or the moon phases or just the, different parts of the year, or a certain number of days. So I think all of that is information that you can use. And I'm trying to learn how to allow myself to be completely random, because that's how I think, and trying to cram my eclectic, disjointed thinking into this kind of pre-drawn box, or this kind of pre-drawn box. I mean, I can do it to a point, and I do it when I'm planning, but I have to have permission to be like this as well, because otherwise I won't use the book. I will hate it and abandon it. And yeah. And that's sort of my message, to allow yourself, because I mean, I do love to look at people's perfect planners and bullet journals where they, you know, they have themes and well, their trackers are really pretty, and they use symbols instead of boxes and fill in, you know, their moods and all those things. And I like looking at that, but I can't implement it because, you know, I change my mind all the time. And when I think quickly and need to jot down, I mean, where is it? When I get ideas, they look like this. because, you know, I can't stop to think, oh, I need to write this prettily. Well, the thought will be gone by the time I even find a pen that I like, you know, calligraphy or whatever. So when I brainstorm, and that is a big part of my life, I need to allow myself to do it messily. It's like I'm trying I'm arguing with someone who isn't even there, but I guess I'm arguing against myself, because I sometimes wish I could be this structured, neat person, but I'm just not. So this is a perfect reflection of what it's like in my head. And if I dislike that, that sort of means that I dislike myself. And I don't want to do that. I want to accept myself the way I am. And a part of doing that is accepting my journal. And that's what I think you should do as well. And the reason I'm saying this is, of course, that there are so many comments on so many videos and Instagram posts about how people wish they were neater, less messy, that they had more beautiful planners. But, you know, your planner is you, I think. So use it to get to know yourself and to accept yourself. I mean, like this. I was inspired by a dancing program on TV, so I drew a couple of sketches of this really handsome guy. This doesn't look like him at all. But, you know, the final days of April, I was obsessed with dancing and dancers. So this reflects that. And I don't have to make a painting. You know, I just needed to get it out of my system, and that's it.